Okay, for 44, right, many of you know that we actually distribute and use this THz blower. Device, right, at the moment, there are this Facebook group, frequency one testimonial group, by now about 33,000 users. Okay, one same device, you go and check this.
It's on Facebook, right?
On Facebook, right? You go to media, right, one same device, we use it. Got testimonial for on the leg, on the face, on people use on pet, dog, cat, horses, fish, everything. So these are the end result. Okay? Then users wise is worldwide from more than 50 countries. Okay? Then of course people are getting result, but a lot of questions being asked how this single device, a simple you look and feel like hair dryer, how this thing able to like ease pain, itchiness, eczema, all this issue. So lucky to have an expert in this field. Then Dr. Douglas Kong used to serve at this Mount Elizabeth Hospital. Then today we'll be sharing the science behind science evidence on reference to disease of the colon. Okay. In fact, every 2 weeks, right, we'll be sharing on specific topic. So today, this is the topic. Okay. This is the topic. Then with that, round of applause, Dr. Douglas Kong.
Okay.
The remote, this is forward, backward.
Okay, thank you. So today I'm going to talk about the colon. I've given a series of talks on the various systems, the heart, diabetes, skin, and the last one was on the liver. So I will speak now on the colon. Okay. So those that I've given in the past, they're on YouTube. If you or your friends want me to talk about anything, there was some request for diabetes to be repeated, I will be only too happy to repeat it. But if there's a request, you must let MK know, then I will be doing it and make it more up to date with more recent findings. So the reason why I'm able to do that is because I'm a medical person. I used to be a medical researcher. So I've learned the ability to evaluate evidence and to kind of make sense of what is in the scientific literature. So this code has been around and a lot of people have shown it. You know that heat is used in medicine all the time. Physiotherapists use a lot of heat. And heat is certainly effective with pain, inflammation and stiffness. It is effective. And so is this like a hair blower? It has been pointed out this similar to a hair blower. No. A hair blower only has heat. This one has something else. You see? So it is effective with this, but it's more than that. Future medicine will be the medicine of frequencies. Any of you with a science background will come across this equation, right? Energy and frequency and mass. Energy is frequency. If you look at the history of frequency in medicine, music is frequency. Since Second World War, music has been used for helping patients. So it is that energy medicine is all about frequencies. See? Acupuncture is about frequency. Emotional freedom technique which I use is also frequency. Right? And THz is frequency. And it is in so many fields. You have your handphone, 4G or 5G? 4G, right?
4G.
6G is THz. Because, 6G? Yes, 6G is THz. About 2-3 months ago, there was a paper on the safety of 6G, the safety of THz. Very safe. So that is for telecommunications. It's used in military, it's used in science, and in health. So I talk about THz in relation to health. And in relation to health, something about THz first is between infrared and microwaves. So that is next to microwave is very important. Remember, when you microwave things, you put in a microwave oven, you cover it with plastic cover, it still gets heated up, right? It can penetrate plastic. THz share this property. It can penetrate. Infrared has been used for a long time now for health devices. In fact, I got interested in this because I come across a clinical trial in the COVID period. They found that infrared devices can cure COVID infections. Hey, so my friend was telling me about this. This is very close to infrared. THz is in fact far infrared. This is near infrared. So it is the same thing. So if near infrared can treat COVID, THz also can treat COVID. And yes, there are testimonies that it can in fact do so. So all in all, it goes to show that THz has a lot of promise. It is in the millimeter wavelength. And that's why 6G is so powerful. And I will tell you more about this, okay? Normal biological systems also resonate about the same frequency. Because you know that everything has a resonance frequency, right? So our human cell has about the same frequency. That's why it's able to have health applications. So what are the health applications? There are two applications in medicine. One is diagnostic. Now in security, they use THz for screening. The resolution is much sharper because everything, different materials absorb THz differently. So there's different what they call absorption spectra if you're in physics. So as a result, you can make out a lot of things. For example, you have an X-ray of the bone, you see shadows only. With THz, if you do a scan of the bone, you can make out many layers in the bone. Now, that's what the radiologist who did this clinical trials tells me. I have to believe them because they can see it. You see, it's that effective. But I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about it for therapy. You see, I use it myself for therapy, and I recommend to people to use it to improve their health. But I come from preventive medicine. I've been in the preventive medicine movement in Singapore since the late 80s. So all these years, I have been in preventive medicine. So in a way, these lectures are to help you understand that one THz device can cure you of many things. You don't have to prove that the THz device is good. By having a disease and try to treat the disease. By having a heart attack and then try to blow yourself to well. My message to you is prevention is better than cure. And you can use it to prevent. I will show you how. So, a very important thing is THz resonate at the same frequency as normal cells. This has tremendous implication because cells are alive, it's living. DNA can synthesize things on its own, given the right resources, the right nutrients, and so forth, right? So this has tremendous implications, and I will tell you the implications. First of all, the properties of THz that is important for us as medical people. It's low energy, it doesn't damage any atoms and molecules. This is different from X-rays, which are at the other end of the light spectrum. The other end is ultraviolet upwards. So X-rays can damage your atoms and molecules. THz will not. Then it can penetrate. So by its ability to penetrate, it can go deep. Like microwave, it can penetrate. But it does, unlike microwave, it doesn't heat up the thing. Because only by a couple of degrees of temperature. And it's absorbed by polar compounds. Polar compounds are conductors. Any compound is a conductor. Water is a conductor, right? You touch anything that is wet and you touch electricity, you learn that. And the reason why your body can conduct electricity is because of the water in your body. 70% of your body is water, isn't it? Now the energy corresponds to bonds in hydrogen and van der Waals forces. Just like in alkaline water, you break up the forces, which are van der Waals forces. If you are in physical chemistry, you know what are van der Waals forces. And water is changed. Now people say, oh, how can you think that water change? But there's scientific evidence that van der Waals forces actually is disrupted when you shine THz light. You know water, you take a glass of water, you pour it out. You pour out the water, right? Put it out, right? There's still water there. Why? Viscosity, right? Water bind together. This viscosity. This viscosity is due to this. So it is these last few points are relevant to diagnostic devices using THz. It's absorbed differently by various tissues, and so therefore you can see different things. And THz waves, because it's extension of the light, the visible light spectrum, when you shine THz waves on it, you can see it like it's like a picture like that. You know? That's why radiologists working with this and experiment with this can make out so many layers in tissues. So what can it do to the living cell? It increases activity. Abnormal cell, it causes apoptosis is cause a cell to die, to kind of commit suicide. This is the body's way of getting rid of abnormal cells by causing the cell to die. And it can disrupt DNA in cancer cells. And I think this is the most important advance as far as THz is concerned. It can hit cancer cells. Very effective. Of course, if your cancer is too advanced, it will not work. But that's what it will do. And it decreases inflammatory proteins. Alright? And alter gene expression in DNA. Now, inflammatory cells are hyperactive in a lot of conditions such as lupus, psoriasis, any inflammation. So it can tone down and make it normal. That's remarkable. And any of you who have inflammation from arthritis or whatever, you know the amount of medicine you get to tone it down, and this thing actually works. It alters gene expression. That means genes that are inactive become activated. As you get old, some of your genes actually get switched off, less effective. So it can switch it on again. So as you get older, you find a lot of your body's secretions start to go away, right? As I go, hey, I find this came back, indicating that the function has been restored. And I think that's remarkable. And of course, it increased cellular division. That means the cells are active again. See? So, eliminate unhealthy cells. This is very important. I tell you about how in COVID, it can treat COVID, right? It can kill the viruses. And the reason it can do so because any abnormal cells or mutated cells that are abnormal, THz cause it to die and then absorbed by the body. This is a very important activity of THz waves. then it normalizes and activates inert cells. So there are three things here. One, normal cells absorb THz energy, becomes activated, there's a slight rise in temperature. Dormant cells will be active. Okay. Cells that are not actively performing the function, as I shared with you, what I found, inflammatory cells get wind down. So inflammatory cells are already hyperactive. You don't activate it further. You can't activate it further anyway. It's maximum already. THz wave can wind it down. So that's why I say it normalize. It make it normal. Inactive cell, it activates. Hyperactive cell, it tone it down. Makes it normal.
Sorry, excuse me. You
Yeah.
please tell me, my English is not really good. Dominant cell, what is it? It's one page before. One page up.
Huh?
The what?
Which one are you talking about?
Let me check. The terms, actually I'm talking about terms is
Maybe what we do, right?
You can't find it, then
yeah,
I go on
you
first.
take note of the question. Take note of the question. Yeah, ask after.
Later
Yeah.
on I will answer. Okay, because I can't keep on waiting for you.
I think the second one, the
Dormant
cell
cell.
will be activated. What's the meaning of dormant
Not
cell?
active.
Sleeping.
Oh,
Cells not
sleeping.
active.
Oh, sleeping.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
So initiate repair and increases cell healing. So because it resonates at the frequency cell and because it activates them, what does it do to the DNA? It induces and strengthens the DNA molecule, and thereby your cell repair themselves. The amazing thing is we know this thing happened. Experiments have been done, you know. And with electron microscopy, we know that sometimes DNA are inactive because they are two strands like a zip, they are tied together. And THz wave has the ability to unzip the DNA. Wow, you can do that. It's true. I didn't say that. Scientists who do the experiment say that. If you read it, you don't understand because it's highly technical. How they prove that it's unzipped. It's very interesting, you know. They look at it by looking at the byproduct. They look at DNA that produces a certain chemical and they look at the concentration of chemical after the experiment. It goes up. So something has happened, right? Improved circulation and microcirculation. So there are two effects on the circulation. On all blood vessels, it opens up the blood vessel, reduce the resistance and the thickness, and so it flows much better. And then on the microcirculation, the tiny capillaries all over your body, you open it up, improve the blood flow and facilitate drainage. Now this is very important when you have a swelling of the legs anywhere. That means like traffic jam, something is clogged up. So it releases a jam. And when you release a jam, what happens? The circulation move on, right? The waste product is gone, right? It also bring in the nutrients, the cells that will protect you, kill all the things and detoxify whatever they need to be detoxified. So that's how healing takes place with THz. This is how it happens. And to me, this is very exciting. And so that's how water retention improve with THz. And if you look at some of the testimonies on Facebook or YouTube, you find this happening. That THz wave actually relieves swelling, improves the circulation, and therefore the function. Oh. So for those of you who don't have swelling, how does this help? Well, this helps if sometimes when you exercise is not enough. Sometimes exercise causes injuries, and we know exercise causes injuries. That's how your muscle grow, right? Because of injuries, stem cells get attracted, and then that's how you build up your muscle. Exercise has the same effect. The see. And THz also have this effect, cause the cell to grow and improve circulation, improve the function. So I want to talk about the colon. It's a very important part of the organ because we don't see the colon normally, so it's out of sight, out of mind. And when you look at some of these conditions in the colon, you find it's very common and people don't know about it, you know. Colon has many functions. Absorb water. When you digest food, many of the digestive juices, like sodium, potassium, and chloride, and all these things, they are there in your intestines. They need to be reabsorbed. So, if form and storage of feces, this one is very important. We only discovered this in the last 10-15 years. I will talk about it in detail. You have a whole population of microbes, bacteria, viruses, fungus, and some other minor parasites there. Now, in the colon, whatever you can't digest is digested by these microbes. It digests them. And then, of course, you expel the waste product. Right? So, this is the start of the colon. From the small intestine end here, this is the colon, the cecum, ascending colon, transverse colon, and descending sigmoid, and the rectum. It's very important because the location tells you a lot of things as to what diseases will affect. So, first thing, polyps. Polyps are lumps. And then I talk about irritable bowel syndrome, diverticulitis, Crohn's, ulcerative, and lastly, cancer. And it is increasing. And there is a movement to get people investigated for colorectal cancer because it's increasing. It's scary. So these are matters of public health concern, and for all of us, these are matters of importance. So these are polyps. They are little lumps. If you put on a scope, this is what you see. So polyps, this is how they grow. This is precancerous, and the danger of polyp is it can become cancerous. That's why polyps is serious. Well,